Greetings, YouTube. Greetings. We are on Prison Affairs, Chapter 16, Severing the Ties That Bind. Severing the Ties That Bind. Excuse me. I talked to Darnell about visiting Edward for his birthday, and this is part of his reply. What the hell do you want me to say to some shit like that? Am I supposed to keep being passive and say, yes, baby, go ahead, make him happy for his birthday? Hell no. I ain't with that shit one bit, baby. It makes me feel like a chump-ass nigga to have the woman I plan to marry and dream about all the time and is madly in love with go up to another prison to see some nigga. That shit fucks with me a lot. I really don't like you writing these niggas. Bad enough I be putting up with you always saying you still got love for Tyrone. If the shoe was on the other foot, how would you react? If you love me like I love you, you wouldn't like it one bit. If you was to go see one of them niggas, I don't think I could even sleep. That shit would be on my conscience all day long. The penitentiary is stressful enough and I don't need no more. I keep telling you how much I love you. Do you think I be bullshitting? I want you to myself. I ain't trying to share you with these niggas. When was the last time you heard a queen having multiple kings? I don't want to be competing with these niggas. I really shouldn't trip because you've been writing these niggas before I met you, but I must be real and speak my mind. You're grown and you're going to do what you want to do, but evaluate the situation. You probably just want to see how I react. Well, baby, I ain't gonna lie. You hit a nerve, and you still insist on seeing Tyrone sometime in the future. Let this be a reality check for both of us. I plan to talk to you more about this at our visit. I love you, Mama, and remember, Daddy gonna love you till the end. Well, I had done it again. Pissing somebody off without intent. This is part of my reply. It hurt me to think I was hurting Darnell. Baby, I wasn't playing any games with you. I would never do anything that I know would cause you to stress. I love you so much that I never thought about those men saying anything that would cause me to stop loving you. Plus, I was visiting before and honestly did not know you would object so strongly, but I should have. It was disrespectful to you. I was being inconsiderate without thinking. One of those men said, I don't know how to treat a good man, and I'm praying that is not true. While I was looking for your reaction to what I said, it was not a test. I didn't have to mention it, but I wanted to know how you felt about it. Now that I know, I'm not going to do it. And if the shoe were on the other foot, no, I would not want you to have females visiting you. Baby, I wasn't thinking and asked for you to forgive me. I understand my wrong. That's why I'm going to chill writing to them as well. Slowly but surely, they will have to understand that continuing correspondence is not healthy. A card for encouragement from time to time to keep contact is what I think should suffice. I say this because if I had not fallen weak for you and we were still writing as friends, I would not just want to stop writing you. But baby, our relationship means the world to me. If my visiting makes you uncomfortable, I am not going to do it. Why? Because if I told you something you were doing was upsetting me, I would expect you to make it right if it was in your power to do so. Daddy's needs and wants all of Mama's attention, and your wish is my command. Another pretty envelope arises, and it's from none other than Carl. Throughout the month of March, his correspondence flowed as follows. Well, you mentioned about the visit. I always figured your man wouldn't let you visit. It is strange how you were in a relationship with someone else, but you probably went to visit him. It wasn't a problem then, but now, boom. But those are my thoughts. Every man is different. I respect his decision. I will know my woman inside and out to have enough confidence in her moves. Next. Inmates tell you all the nice things you like to hear. Winning your heart is a way to get things out of you without you feeling you are being used. You understand what I'm saying? I want to be friends first to get to know her, good and bad. If I can accept the bad, it will all be good. I want to walk, talk, hug, hold, and listen with my soulmate. Hold on to her like she is the only thing on this earth. I've spent too many years sleeping alone. I want to give my heart to the right one, and I will look until I find her. All I have is time, huh? I look at you as a very good friend, and I always will be concerned of your well-being. You can always count on me. That's what friends are for. And I know you will do the same for me. I'm sorry if I made it seem like you are quick to jump in a relationship with someone. I didn't mean it that way. I just want you to be happy because you have a good heart. Your big heart deserves the best. And I don't want you to be led to where your heart is broken. That would mess me up. If I can in any way keep that big heart of yours from hurting, I will. You have my best of blessings with your man, and that's the realest. Get at me when you can, and fill your boy on some haps around your camp. This is part of my reply. The guy I was talking about marrying was Tyrone. Now my baby is Darnell. I know I need to slow up, but hell. I have waited for this man all of my life, and if it turns out that he is not my soulmate, mate, I will just have to get a divorce. I was taught that God understands divorce and don't hold you accountable if it was not your fault the divorce had to occur. Moreover, I will not live with another man unless he is my husband. I thank you for your support and concern, Carl. I really am trying to be careful. That is why I had to cut Tyrone's ass off. But my man now is so real, I see no hidden agenda whatsoever. He never asks for things as Tyrone did, and he is always sweet, compassionate, respectful, and jealous. Not insanely jealous, but sweet jealous. Afraid that someone will steal my heart from him before he can come home. I love everything about him except his location. He says he loves everything about me as well. He makes me believe unconditional love between a man and a woman does exist and will always exist between him and me. I say the same. But if I have questions or need to holler at someone, I will let you know. I think I can depend on you to keep it real with Mama. The good smell on my letter is Victoria's Secret Garden Amber Romance Silkening Body Splash. You like that, huh? I got some more flavors for your ass as well. No, let me stop. I sprayed Daddy's letter and your letter was mailed with it. Then again, I might have sprayed yours too. Since you like it, I'll spray it again. Surprise, surprise. I got a nice letter from Tevin. I thought he was through with me. Chris. Hey, sexy. Sorry it has taken me so long to respond to your letter, but I've been going through some real tough, stressful times. It's been hard for me lately on all levels. Now I'm really not sure where we stand as far as writing goes, but you know I don't get money, so I can't just write when I want to. I haven't had stamps for the last 2 weeks, but I'm not using that as an excuse or nothing. I'm a strong man, so I'm pulling myself together to refocus myself. Did you ever make it up here for a visit? Do you still plan on coming to see me? If so, I would very much like to see you. And what happened to the pictures I asked for? I really do like you, Chris. I wish we could become something more special to each other, but I will settle for a long-lasting friendship if you don't think I'm good enough or qualified enough to be your man. However, if you decide to come and see me, I'll explain everything that's been going on this last month. Baby, I really would love to hear from you. Plus, I need some of your witty sarcasm and flavor to cheer me up. Stay sweet. Hugs and kisses, Tevin. Aww. I really wanted to visit Tevin, but Daddy was not feeling it at all. I wrote Tevin a quick note to let him know I would not be visiting, but never said he was not good enough. He wrote me a hot note again. This time, I simply did not reply. April 2004. Trying to maintain my pen pal relationships was becoming too much for me. Even though it was not my intent, I upset Tevin and a few others with the choices and decisions I made. In addition, I was not writing Darnell as he wanted me to. At the expense of my friendships with my pen pals, I began to focus on Darnell even more so. All I wanted to think about was my love for him and his love for me. My next letter from Edward was very sweet. He talked about the kids and me and wished us well. Then the letter goes on to talk about how in love with me he is. Before I start this letter, I want to thank you for the money. I don't get the commissary often, so I appreciate that. But I would have preferred the visit. I'm sure in time it will work itself out. And yes, your man is right. I am trying to win. But I am gentleman enough to let him have the first shot at your heart. He can have it for the short term. I will take it for the long. I don't make moves. I make plans. It's probably good you didn't come to see me. There is a flu bug going around and I was sick the whole day. At the same time, your smile might have healed me. I must admit you surprised me. I thought you were trying to throw me to the dogs. I'm glad you enjoyed that artwork and poem. I meant every word from the bottom of my heart. I don't know why the more I try to pull away from you so you can do your thing with this other cat, the more I am drawn to you. Please forgive me, but I can't help but express my feelings for you. Even if I don't get the opportunity I seek, these feelings will remain the same. Or should I say, my love would remain the same. Edward was expressing his feelings of love even though I made all my pen pals aware of my engagement. He was in love with me, but I was in love with Daddy. For that reason, I thought it was best to stop writing him, but I did not want to hurt him by cutting him off while he was on lock. He has sent me the sweetest cards, flowers, poems, and drawings, all in the name of friendship, and brought many smiles to my face over the past months. He said my letters helped him do his time. Also enclosed in my letters was a poem. His love and the poem are deep. I didn't really understand the poem, but the last line, and if God choose, I shall love you better after death, made me uncomfortable. I thought Edward might be a psycho or something because he put a smiley face after the word death. I know I am unusually paranoid and I might be tripping, so I went to PTO to ask the ladies what they thought. Fortunately, one of the members recognized the poem. It was the classic Sonnet 43, How Do I Love Thee, Let Me Count the Ways, written by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I was relieved. At least I knew he was not a psycho. My next letter from Lawrence let me know he was not happy to hear that I would not be bringing his mom for a visit. Christine, frankly speaking, from the first time you said something about bringing my mother to a visit, I felt it wouldn't happen, especially with months passing without you guys showing up. Oh boy ain't feeling it, huh? I can't seem to understand him not feeling a man seeing his mother. I mean, if the shoe was on the other foot, I couldn't see it in my heart to deny a man seeing his mother. I guess it's different strokes for different folks. I can't see how you can't feel him on the writing tip, but you can feel him on the visiting tip. Don't respect his wishes in part. respect them all the way. It's been real, but I'm going to slide out the way to keep from hurting in the future. May God be pleased with you, Lawrence. Well, I complied with my man's wishes and Lawrence's as well. I did not reply to his letter. I started making plans to visit my future husband. If Darnell loved me the way he professed, I planned to marry him upon release. When I called to request a special visit with Darnell, I got some good news and some bad news. The unit could not approve my visit, which was the bad news. The good news let me know Darnell was en route to his assigned pre-release prison. To my dismay, it was the one farthest from me of the two choices, and he had an overnight layover at the prison where Tyrone was being held. Although I was worried about the two crossing paths, I later learned that they did not. Thank God. Darnell wrote me a letter joking about Tyrone getting him. He is a trip. My next letter from Tyrone let me know he was taking me off his visiting list. Also enclosed was a letter to him from another woman. 2 pictures of her and 2 pictures of me that I would not show anyone. Not risque, but unflattering. He was writing her before me. She stopped because she thought he was about game. Now she wanted him back. The enclosed letter was asking him to choose between her and me and for him to let me go. She went on to mention his feelings for me and her feelings for him. She demanded he have no contact with me whatsoever if he chose to be with her. At this point, I was tripping. I began to believe Tyrone might actually love me as he said, and I didn't believe him. I tore up the letter he enclosed and sent the pieces back along with her pictures. Truth be told, I was a tad bit jealous, but I knew that was why Tyrone allowed me to read her letter. I was scared for a minute that I was in love with both Tyrone and Darnell. The need to slowly cut off my relationship with Tyrone and the pen pals that said they loved me was becoming clear. I should have kept it on a friend level with all of my pen pals, but I did not. I was glad God knows what he is doing because I didn't know what he or I was. Late one night, Tyrone called to let me know he was thinking about me. I had to go to work the next morning, so we did not talk long. I let him know I had no problem with him taking me off his visiting list. After I hung up the phone rings once more. It is Tyrone again. This time he talks to me as if I were his pen friend, Tina. Tina, where have you been? I have been trying to reach you all night, he said. I aggressively assured him he had the wrong number and hung up. He called back again, referring to me as Tina. When he heard my voice, he hung up. The next day, I wrote him a quick note and enclosed a piece of toilet paper. The note read, I thought you might need this toilet paper because your punk bitch ass is so full of shit. I was hoping the mailroom let it go through, and they did. Days later, Tyrone called to let me know how hurt he was. I found out the worst thing you can call a man in prison is a punk. It is comparable to calling a woman a bitch. I apologize because I didn't really mean it. I was just mad. Still yet, it was time for me to keep on moving. I went to visit Darnell the following weekend with my son Dante. It was good to spend some quality time with Dante one-on-one. I asked him what he thought of Darnell, and he said, he alright, but I ain't coming with you no more. This take too long. He was right. Even so, I felt compelled to visit the unit at least once a month, if not more. After our visit, Darnell wrote, Hey, Mama, I'm glad that you made it home safe. That's a long drive that I hate Mama has to make to see me. You probably put 1,000 miles on your car altogether. I know if you do that for me, it has to be true love, because true love will make you go 1,000 miles for someone. That's how I'm going to be for you, baby. When you call me, I'm going to come running, no matter where you at or where I am at. I'm going to try to get there the best way I can. In your letter, you didn't say what Dante thought of me. I hope that he cuts for me. He seems like a cool little fella. I'm going to have to kick back and play some PlayStation with him. He don't seem like the type to get in a lot of trouble, but I was like that too. When people saw me, they thought I was a saint, but every now and then I'd act a fool once they got to know me. Make sure your boys use their heads and don't get out there and do nothing crazy. If I would have used my head, I would still be out there in the free world. They don't like you telling them what to do, but they will cherish everything you are telling them later in life. It's better you telling them what to do than these white people. 8 years was hell for me. I thought I would never get out of here. I got so depressed I used to cry. This shit was driving me crazy. I was getting rolled up for all types of shit, sort of like Tyrone. I just didn't give a damn. I felt like I couldn't get out. But I got my act together, and look at me now. I'm on my way to the house. Speaking of Tyrone, I really didn't like what you sent me about writing and being in love with 2 guys. It's only one daddy, Mama, and that's me. You gotta get this nigga out your system for real. Every time I think I have you all to myself, this nigga pops out of nowhere. I'm sick of this nigga and the shit he be doing. I know you ain't gonna believe me, but this nigga been trying to play you from jump. I see straight through all that shit. The nigga had something good with you, but he never gave a damn about you. He ran that penitentiary game on you and you fell for the okie doke. He even told you he needed somebody to support him in the penitentiary. He don't care if it's you, that other chick, or whoever. Writing you letters was all his game. He seen how vulnerable you were and hooked you up with his homies. He probably told them what to say in their letters. That's the type of shit these low-down ass niggas be doing in this penitentiary. They don't care about nobody else's feelings. All they care about is going to commissary. They do whatever they have to do to get what they want. When I get out of here, I'm going to show you I ain't about that penitentiary shit. You're probably not ready for all the love I'm ready to give you. I plan to shower you with love and show you that you made the right choice with me. You are daddy's girl and I am mama's man. And I promise you, after the loving I'm going to give you, ain't none of these niggas going to be on your mind again. Fuck Tyrone and these hoe-ass games he trying to play with you. Trying to make you feel sorry for him about the other chick and shit. This hoe-ass shit he doing making me sick for real, mama. If you can't see through some of this shit, I don't know. That Madison chick from PTO is on top of her game. I like a lot of the stuff y'all be talking about. She just trying to get you to see the nigga for what he is. Don't forget to call my dad and tell him you coming for Easter. Nobody probably come up here anyhow, but I don't want you to drive up here and I already had a visit. I let Darnell know I put 700 miles on my car with just one visit, let alone all the visit I had made put together. We also talked about how I could believe his words when he was a penitentiary ass nigga himself. He vowed once again to show me when he came home. In the meantime, he continued writing like clockwork. Every Thursday I received a letter. He wrote a letter to Chrissy and Brian as well. They replied. Carl is on schedule with his letters and I look forward to them. He always has, as Tevin would say, some flavor for me to entertain. Although I was trying to cut ties, I had no desire to discontinue correspondence with Carl. Like Marquise, his letters made me stop and think. The following is from my letter to Carl. You know Daddy ain't feeling me writing any men. But when I told him you sent me a little bit of change, he said, okay, you can keep him. He was joking, but he was still feeling me. So I think we can do something in the future as a trio. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, there he will be. I think we will be fine as long as I keep Daddy assured that I only have eyes for him. But you are right in the fact that he is not going to want me to write all the time when he gets home, and I feel him. I will write you while I am at work so it will not take any time away from him. I like hearing from you, and since he is still on lock and at the present not writing, I need to hear from you. My whole disposition changed and my face lit up when I read your letter yesterday. I was cheesing all the while I was reading it. Nevertheless, I doubt if my baby will be filling dinner out with a friend if that friend is male. I'm going to have to be breaking him off something real proper to pull that off. He may have to come with. But it's the thought that counts. And believe it or not, I hate shopping. But I'll go if you bring your wallet. And I never thought about dinner not being your treat. Does that make me selfish? As for Tyrone's ass, let me fill you in on the details so you can keep it real with me. You should have come correct the first time I wrote you. All the men I wrote said they didn't want to hate on my baby, Tyrone. Daddy was really not feeling him because he wanted me for himself. But he wouldn't speak his mind because he didn't want it to seem like he was hating. After a few letters and more details, they all had to spill the beans. Now you want to tell me he is ill after the fact. Or did you just realize this from what I wrote in my last letter? I never thought about some guy writing the pen pal letter for him. The possibilities of his game playing are endless. Anyway, I wash my hands of that whole fiasco. The reason why I felt bad for not believing him is like if I blamed Dante for breaking something and find out later he didn't do it after I have already punished him. Tyrone might be rotten to the core, but I don't believe that, and I don't like doing what God doesn't love. Still yet, he is not the man for me, and that I am sure of. My feelings for him were deep, but my common sense, PTO, and my pen pals told me he was foul. However, I still wanted to be his friend because I was going to marry him and wait 20 years to be with him if I had to. That's how deep my feelings were. That man came into my life and opened up a whole new world to me. Primarily, he lifted my self-esteem. Not saying it was low. Tyrone taught me to love hard without sex. We shared some good times through pen and paper, and at visit, he had good lines. But when you start trying to hit my pocket... Ironically, Carl told me the game was to be sold, not told. Albeit he shared with me anyway because he likes me, just as Marquise had. Carl now refers to me as his soul when he writes. Some guys turn you down when you offer to send money so you will feel safe, like that is not what they're looking for. Yeah, Tyrone brought you from the dark to the light, but you didn't need anyone to lift your self-esteem. You could do that yourself. I guess it felt better by having someone else do it. But from here on out, you keep that head up, woman. No woman is better than you. You have a heart that every man dreams of in a woman, and that's real. Everybody don't deserve your heart. It's okay for them to touch it, but you just can't give it away like that. You are too kind-hearted. You have to be strong because you will need that strength. And so, words can be deceiving. Say you visit me and I give you a nice hug and kiss and start telling you how much you mean to me and how much we are meant to be soulmates. You will be knocked off balance. People can show an emotion that is nothing but lies. I'm not trying to make you doubt your man because realness will always show. And I don't judge a book by its cover, but you did ask me to serve it to you. And speaking of strength, these people are taking away the sexually explicit magazines from us and any graphic of a sexual nature. They think that will make things better? Ha ha ha. They are crazy. Back in the early 80s, there were no naked magazines and the rate of rape was high, very high. Now they are taking them. I know the rate of rape will go up again. Bad enough we got guys who masturbate on these female officers. That rate will go up also. Just think about when a woman don't want to have sex with a man, what do he do? It's the same way in here when they take those magazines. Some of these guys will find the next best thing to get off. Part of my reply is as follows. Yes, I heard about the game being sold, not told, and it doesn't matter if I would have believed you, because I do have my own mind and nature had to run its course. But you could have given me food for thought. I had doubt all along, so that told me something was not right. I just didn't want to believe it, but I didn't refuse to believe it. Just for the record, you are the only guy who turned me down when I asked them about sending money. Soon after, I finally received a letter from Marquise. I was glad. He started out apologizing for lacking in his macking. I had not heard from him for a while, so I wrote 8 pages. I tried to catch him up on everything that had occurred since we last spoke. Marquise replied with the following letter. I did not know at the time it would be my last. According to your last letter, you have found your Superman. Congratulations. Every woman deserves her own personal Superman. But please don't get it twisted. There is only one. Bottom line, I am glad you found your king. If he is all you say he is, then you need to hold on to his ass. And he should do the same for you. As far as being busy and not having time to write, I fully understand. You need to focus on your man. Give him some of that quality time you've been giving me. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to miss those letters. But good things come to those who wait. And all good things must end. You've waited long enough for your good thing. Be a good girl now, and I still got your number. I've got some business to attend to in Houston. I'll give you a ring when I'm in town. You stay safe, strong, and always sweet. Love, Marquise. He also sent me a poem he wrote especially for me. I loved the poem and him even more for writing and sending it. Fortunately, Marquise and I had a few more conversations over the phone through May. He would send short stories and poems, but no more detailed letters. Eventually, he was moved to St. Louis, Missouri. I tracked him down via the internet. From there, he would make what he called his resurrection back into society. I sent a few more letters over the next 6 months. He never replied. I rejoiced on the day that he was to be released. I still think and pray for him often. I ask God to please let him be okay and doing well. I love Marquise and miss him dearly. My next letter was from Edward. I had written him with concerns about his mental and emotional state. He was in love with me, but I was in love and devoted to Darnell. He assured me that he could handle me loving Darnell and would settle for friendship, if nothing else. No matter how stressful this may get, I'm man enough to deal with it. If it ever got to the point where I could no longer bear it, then I would walk away. The last thing I want to do is cause you pain. I just can't play with the person's feelings. My conscience won't allow it. I mean, if I can't have you as my woman, I'm just as happy with you as a friend. Why should I destroy our friendship? I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but I don't care what that cat thinks. I hate to say this, but I must. How can a person love you when they don't even trust you? When your man starts feeling disrespected by you writing me, ask yourself, what is he really saying? We can play games with words all we want, but the reality is he don't trust you. If he feels threatened by me, then he is doubting your love. I'm just being real. Are you going to cut the male friends off you have on the outside just because this cat is insecure? That is for kids, Diamond. Boys are insecure. You must understand that you have 30 and 40-year-old boys in here. What kind of man will tell this woman to turn her back on her friends? Time is either going to make me look like a fool or a real friend, and I will never play games with your emotions. I couldn't express my feelings better than sending you that poem. I'm not good at expressing myself on paper. That's why I would rather do it in person. I want to show you my true feelings rather than be like these other cats making false promises. I'm good at playing on emotions, and it's easy for me to sit in here and build you up only to destroy you in the end. But I choose not to do that. I choose to open my heart up and allow you to see the real me rather than the image I once represented. Let's just sit back and enjoy each other's friendship. Can we do that? Also, explain to me how my feelings make you uncomfortable. Are you afraid there's a chance you might fall weak for me? I wouldn't even let you make such a decision while you are emotionally weak. I prefer to be challenged. The human mind is sold on images. I mean, a person can paint a picture in your mind and your conscience will fall in love with it. So I ask, have you fallen for a picture that this cat has painted on your conscience? I'll be willing to bet that he didn't even make parole. He'll always have a story why he didn't make it just to hold on to you. Has he ever told you the chances are greater that he will do most of his time? Can you wait years and years? You might say I'm hating, but I'm giving you a reality check. It burns me up when a person locked up paints a picture knowing they won't be able to fulfill them no time soon. It makes it bad for people like me. P.S. Stop allowing this guy to make decisions on our friendship. Now that Edward was no longer sending words of love, he started making requests. His requests were not for money. He wanted me to contact his family, call the parole board, find his friend a pen pal, and check on his magazine subscriptions and hardship transfer. I tried to comply with most of his wishes, but I had to let him know just because I was a secretary didn't mean I was his secretary. I think I offended him. When I heard from Lawrence again, enclosed was a short note with the few pictures I had sent him. He said he no longer wanted to keep them because it hurt to look at them. I did not reply. As a result, my 7 pen pals were reduced to 3. Daddy, whom I love very much, is no longer just a pen pal. On the other hand, Tyrone, who was my fiance, is now a pen pal. Oh, Lord. First, we have Jerome, who is getting his life back together and rebuilding his relationship with his family. Secondly, there is Marquise. I hope he has been released and is doing well. Thirdly, there is Tevin, whom I no longer write. Fourthly, there is Lawrence. I no longer correspond with him as well. Fifth, there is Edward. We write once a month. Sixthly, we have Tyrone. He calls sporadically and writes once a month. Seventhly, there is Carl, whom I have grown to care for very much. And finally, we have Daddy, my future husband and friend. I think going from 7 pen pals to 3 was pretty good. I was hoping Daddy would let me keep the remaining 3 as long as there were no issues. I began visiting Darnell every other weekend. It just so happens I met another lady from PTO whose man was being held at a unit down the street from Darnell's unit. Her name is Shawnice. I went to Dallas several times to ride with her to our visits. Whew, okay, that's our time. That was chapter 16, Severing the Ties That Bind. We're going to pick up next with chapter 17, The Countdown.